Namaskar, I am Ashwin Kumar here, your mentor and facilitator. Today we are going to explore one more session on rural tourism, the demand for rural tourism. Here we are going to understand what is ecotourism, what does it aim to change, and especially we are going to discuss, as you can see in the slide, it's about mass tourism versus niche tourism. What are the differences between mass tourism and niche tourism? Mass tourism is what most of the governments, the local people prefer, because lots of crowd, they come there during a particular season, particular time, particular festival kind of a thing. Most of the people prefer because there will be huge crowd during that time. So that creates a lot of growth in the rural areas. Mass tourism refers to the movement of large number of organized tourists to popular holiday destinations for recreational purposes. It's a phenomenon which is characterized by the use of standard packaged products or for mass consumption. Conceptually, the type of tourism features standardized leisure products and experiences packaged for mass tourists. This has been told by Poon in 1993. Mass tourism occurs when large number of people visit the same place at one time, and this also most of the governments and the local people favor mass tourism. What are the things, why do people prefer mass tourism? Because there is improvement in the telecommunications, the road connectivity, better healthcare facilities, as usual the better recreational facilities. Then there is increased time in the paid of work. Sometimes people can go there and sit in that particular location and finish their office work too. There are people who work there also. So there is a lot of free time for planning their holidays. Standard of living is better. Earlier there were small time lodges, now a lot of lodges, 3-star hotels, 4-star hotels, 5-star hotels have also come up in the nearest accessible places where they are giving you all the amenities that is required. So understand these features that comes into it. So that is where the people, especially for the mass tourism, they come to explore the historical, cultural, religious and environmental interests. This is about the mass tourism. Now let us explore the next one, which is, we call it as niche tourism, N-I-C-H-E, it is pronounced as niche. Niche means a select group, small group, or a select small niche product that we see. What are the examples of niche tourism? Examples of niche tourism is adventure tourism, that is climbing the mountain hills, peaks, which requires a lot of planning and equipment. Equipment is one important factor which plays a key role, safety aspect of it, especially when you are doing the rock climbing, paragliding, all the things. So these examples include Himalayan mountains with Mount Everest at the top of the attraction, the magnificent treks in Uttarakhand, Ladakh, river rafting in Rishikesh. That is one aspect of adventure tourism. The next aspect is cinema tourism. While many of the people would be happy to visit a place used for a location for a movie set or a movie location, shooting spots, generally most of the song locations which they have, one particular movies, they shoot the entire thing in one particular location. That is where a lot of people would like to visit. Here in Telangana, Hyderabad, I think you are all aware, most of the entire big movies like Bahubali and everything was shot in Ramoji Film City. Still the sets are erected there, so it becomes a Bahubali visit kind of a thing. The sets are there, so people come to visit Ramoji Film City to have a glimpse at the sets which has been erected for the movie Bahubali. So like that, so many people, that is one of the aspect of the cinema tourism, that studio is putting it across. We don't know how many days more they are going to keep it. So if that attracts revenue from the tourists to see the Bahubali shooting spots, why not? Similarly, we have got a lot of hill stations and other areas where a lot of Hindi cinema, Telugu cinema, regional cinema has been shot. Like typically Munnar in Kerala, Goa, Ooty, all these places are very, very famous. Darjeeling, one of the oldest, which is there. Kashmir, which was a lot of movies were shot there. A lot of people, that the tourists, one of the main incomes of Kashmir was tourists. So next is heritage tourism. Mostly focused on history and culture, this type of tourism is basically increasingly popular, and it is relatively small scale, but it is directly equivalent to mass tourism. So what is the heritage sites and others which we would like to share? Heritage tourism mostly focused on history and culture. This type of tourism is increasingly popular. As you can see in the picture, this is a typical train. This is from Nilgiris, that is from Ooty, Udagamandalam. So this train basically starts from Mettupalayam and it reaches Udagamandalam. This is the Nilgiri Mountain Railway Museum. These are also coming under UNESCO World Heritage Sites. So let's go to the next one. Next is adventure tourism. The adventure tourism, climbing mountain peaks, is difficult. It requires a lot of training. What are the benefits? Just now we are only talking about the tourism. Now let us see what are the benefits. Why should you do adventure travel? First benefit is it improves your physical health. Next is positive effects on mental health. It's a temporary escape. You are cut off from all the busy urban city life. Next thing is you can make new friends, learn new things, connect with a lot of people there. Then it's an opportunity to go for honor, take a detox from all the technology things, detoxification from your mobile phone, detoxification from your internet connectivity, everything related to technology. You are in with the nature. You only yourself and nature is there. Definitely safety precautions, you have to take it. Your concerned trainer will be there. So please follow the guidelines, whatever they tell you. Kindly do not override anything because they are most experienced there. Kindly take all their suggestions into consideration. Then you will try to meet a lot of new creatures, animals, meaningful travel. The life, you will find a meaning when you do this adventure tourism because there is no deadlines for it. You are exploring it as and when. You are exploring, living it by the moment. Seize the moment, carpe diem. Seize the moment. That is what is, in simple word I can say, is about adventure tourism. Next, as we said, cinema tourism. While many people would like to be happy to visit the place used as a location for cinema movie set, few people are making it as a main focus to go to certain locations. So typically if you see as of July 2022, Novotel Mumbai in Juhu, they started a program called 5th Global Film Tourism Enclave. See, such a fantastic opportunity where they are trying to integrate all the places, the best places in India for promoting tourism also to generate the revenue and using cinema as a tool. If you see in Dharmashala and Dalhousie, a lot of shootings have, cinema shootings have happened there. The classic example in the poster below is the song Chaiya Chaiya, which was shot on the Ooty train from the movie Dil Se by Shah Rukh Khan. So, and the next one is one of the oldest movies, the rock star of Hindi cinema, that is Mr. Shami Kapoor and Sharmila Tagore, in the movie called Kashmir Ki Kali, where the entire beauty of the Kashmir lake was shot with in the houseboats and kind of a thing. So if you watched it, the movie or the songs in the video also, you can see the beautiful place of Kashmir. Now coming to the definition of eco-tourists. There are different definitions to different categories of eco-tourists. What are the methods that are used? Let us discuss in this session. Eco-tourists can be defined by different methods such as site and activity based, motivation based, value based, multi-criteria based and respondent based. These kind of methods will let us understand. The first one is motivation based method. The motivation based method consists tourist behavior during the visiting natural areas. Thus, motivation seems to be a more important relevant criterion than the places visited in the order. Typically, if you see the picture, as of this thing, 10th of December 2022, we had the Hornbill Festival that was in Kisama village in Nagaland. So that's a regular feature of the Hornbill Festival that happens. Different tribes come, different cultures come, people dance, it's a celebratory mood which is there all around. So you should see that particular Hornbill Festival, especially if you are visiting Nagaland, you are visiting Arunachal, they all celebrate this particular festival. Please, if you find time, visit this festival, it's announced everywhere. Then comes the value based methods, which identifies eco-tourists based on the social and environmental values. The social values relate to the ideals one has about the world, one's country and one's community should be. I repeat, the social values relate to the ideals one has about how the world, one's country and the community should be. Environmental values are the values held by people with regard to the relationship between humans and the natural environment. So this is where we have to understand these value based methods, where what are the values that you give it to your children, what are the values that you give it to the next generation plays a key role here. It starts in your house, in your drawing room. So please make sure whatever you expect the children to be taught in the schools and colleges is not that impactful than what happens in your drawing room. What are the values the parents give to the children makes a lot of difference, and especially the tourists who are there, you are planning. So you have to create that sensitivity program in your home first, then go for a tour. Let's go to the next one. So According to these methods on social values, eco-tourists can be divided into 4 types. What are those 4 types? First one is ideological green, moral relativists, dualists and libertarians. Ideological greens. Ideological greens are characterized by special attitude and respect for nature, attributing it to religious or spiritual significance. So, these ideological greens are the people who attribute the beauty of the nature, everything to the religion and spiritual significance. Then the group of moral relativists, they represent by tourists who cannot define any social value as a guiding principle of tourism, ecotourism. The next one is dualists. The dualists define such social values as development, control, equality and harmony as a very important component of the ecotour. So, what are the things that they take into consideration? Development, control, equality and harmony as a very important component of the ecotour. In contrast to the dualists, libertarians do not concentrate about equality and harmony. The libertarians, instead of for them, it is important to have social values such as right and freedom during the tour. So, that is why these are the different categories in which the ideological green, moral relativists, dualists and libertarians. These are the categories in which the ecotourists are categorized. So, you need to find out, especially finding out a database in the tourists who are coming to the village, what category do they fit into. Kindly note down, as I said earlier, about their wedding anniversaries, birthdays. Get in touch with them. If there is a special program in your village, that please contact the concerned category people for that concerned thing. So, they will be very happy to connect with you again. Maybe they can bring in another 2-3 families along with that. So, that generates the rural economy, rural revenues. So, now let us do a simple activity to find out the places in India which are famous for tiger safari. I hope you have understood about the tigers and everything. So, tiger safari is a very important component part of rural tourism. India is really protecting its tigers. Now, coming to the based on the environmental values, the eco-tourists can be divided into again another 4 categories. One, the challengers, next approvers, then disapprovers and skeptical. What do they mean? Challengers. Who are challengers? Challengers represent the group of tourists who are not critical of human attitudes and action towards the nature. They disagree that all species have equal rights. Nevertheless, they are concerned about the limits of the earth. They are really concerned about the limitations of the earth and the particular local area in a contextual way. Then disapprovers group is characterized by tourists who criticize the current human attitudes and action towards their nature. They are highly concerned about the earth limit and support species equality. These are disapprovers. In contrast to the tourists who belong to approver segment, they strongly support the current trend of human behavior and attitude towards the nature, approvers. Then comes the skeptical ones. They present the group of tourists who support species equality and critically assess human action. At the same time, they do not demonstrate any concern regarding the limits of the earth and its resources. So, to repeat you, what are the types? One is the challengers, disapprovers, approvers and skeptical. If the tourist motive is relating to ecotourism, he or she is involved in an activity which meets the eco trips criteria and visiting destination in primarily natural environment, this type of tourists are called as ecotourists. In the case, the tourist motivation is a decisive criterion, and if the tourist participates in eco trips and visits natural environment, but it has inappropriate motives, the motivation to come to that place is genuine, honest and ethical, we call them as ecotourists. If the motivation to come there to tamper with the local areas, local customs, their intention is wrong, then we define them, they cannot be considered as an ecotourist. No, we cannot accept people who come in the garb of an ecotourist. So, we have to be very careful. The government of India and the respective states are very careful about the people who are coming in the garb of ecotourists. There are people who are monitoring them also. Now, here the activity is to find out the places which are famous for tiger safari, ecotourism. So, let us find out about that also. The tiger reserves in India, it started with Project Tiger, which is run by the National Tiger Conservation Authority in charge of 53 of India's tiger reserves, NTCA. 80% of tigers in the world, 80% of the tigers in the world reside in India. There are 1411 tigers in 2006. There were 1411 tigers in 2006. In 2010 there were 1706, roughly approximately 300 tigers better. By 2014 there were 2226. Roughly by 2018, around just around 4 years back, the census was done for the tigers, roughly around 2967, approximately 3000 tigers. So on a gap between 2006 to 2018, in the gap of 12 years, let us say by a decade, we have increased the tiger population from 1411 to 2967, which is remarkable. I really appreciate the Project Tiger Foundation, the Government of India initiative, and the wildlife, especially all the forest range officers. We really appreciate you. Now we are going to the second one, that is measurement criteria. How do you measure the criteria for rural tourism? What are the methods used? The first one is respondent based method, which allows respondents to self classify themselves as ecotourists or non-ecotourists. This method has been applied by a number of researchers aimed to define ecotourist portion among all the tourists. Thus here we are taking an example from a person who was done called Priskin in 2003 from Australia. She asked them to identify themselves as one of the following tourist type. Are you a casual tourist, nature tourist, adventure tourist, or an eco-tourist? And as a result of this research, she concluded that 27.7% during the summer and 38.6% during the winter of visitors to the central coast region of Australia can be considered as eco-tourists. Fantastic point here. Based on the tourist answer, it was concluded that they have been who have identified themselves as eco-tourists were more environmentally concerned than the non-self-identified eco-tourists. Nevertheless, subsequent study aimed to verify whether these tourists who identified themselves as eco-tourists was not conducted. So India, we have also, you can see the image there, we have got the tiger reserve map, and especially people, the tourists who are visiting there. So kindly fill up the form to identify yourself or which category of eco-tourists you fit into. Now let us do a simple case study activity kind of a thing. You can do it from your side, but I am just sharing it with you. You can do this activity along with your partner. Study about the Kerala boat house model and its ecotourism value. The Kerala houseboat is a modified Kettu Vallam, the large boat of yesteryears. In Malayalam, Kettu means to tie and Vallam means boat. These boats were held together with rope and hence the name Kettu Vallams. Were used for the transportation of goods like rice and spices from Kumarakom and the areas of Kuttanad to neighboring towns. The emergence and development of modern road and rail transportation, these graceful behemoths were shelved. Gradually they phased out. Their re-emergence occurred with the growth of tourism. So thanks to the tourists, they were reborn, they re-emerged. So that is what we said in the responsible tourism in the previous session in Kumarkom also. So that is why we are reading about it here. Traditionally, we call that Kerala, as you know, land of backwaters. We say backwaters of Kerala. Traditionally, houseboat was about 60 to 70 feet long and about 13 to 15 feet wide from the beam. Some of these new luxurious houseboats have a length of more than 80 feet, eco-friendly and easily available materials such as jackfruit. Jackfruit is found maximum in the state of Kerala. And tree wood, palm wood, all these things, coconut fiber, again coconut is also one of the big major revenue generators in Kerala. Bamboo mats are used for constructing these boats. This boat is made by tying together rather than the nailing planks of the wood, generally anjali, wood of the jackfruit tree. So that is what with the coconut fiber it comes in. As a protective coat, the black resin extracted from the cashew nut shells is applied to the planks. The motors mainly run on kerosene or petrol. Bamboo poles and palm trees are used for constructing the roof. See the fantastic model, the construction, the traditional method which has been employed here. So we need to work on this, make it better, to make it more eco-friendly. So please do this activity on this. Now my dear friends, if you find time, please take time to visit a website called kashmirhouseboat.com. As you can see from the image, it's about Kashmir houseboat. So what the Kashmir houseboat, it's a website by itself. What they share, that is what I am sharing here. They start the website by saying, are you tired of the restless life? Are you? Do you want to connect with the nature again, just like the old times? Then definitely you have landed at the right place. See the wordings that they have used. They say who we are. We are a group of enthusiastic local people who are adding charm to the Kashmir tour with a comfortable houseboat stay and magical shikara ride for every traveler. The legacy of these ancient houseboats and shikara is passed on to 4 generations. 4 generations. We have been in this business in the end of 18th century, and till date we dedicate our utmost efforts to give the most valuable service to our customers. See, then what do? Since many decades we have been settled amidst the beautiful valley of Kashmir. We ensure that our customers can enjoy the best of this paradise on earth, Jannat. The customer satisfaction is our utmost priority, and we believe in building strong connect with great service. We are here to make your tour of the water a memorable experience at kashmirhouseboat.com. So they deal with all these things, especially kashmirhouseboat.com. It's a journey by itself, it's an experience by itself. That's what we have been telling, we have been sharing, that all the rural tourism is all experiential. Now let us do an important activity here. So we have to understand about the religious tourism. What is the religious tourism in the urban areas and the religious tourism in the rural areas? Totally different. A lot of people, and as you know, India is a hub for many religions. People visit different sites, different locations for different reasons. So once you are coming, the tourists are coming, the foreign tourists or the domestic tourists are coming to that particular location. It is the responsibility of us who come there to take them honestly and ethically to other locations also, to then connecting it to the nearby rural areas. That helps build the entire rural area properly, giving employment opportunities to the youth, empowering the woman there also. So what are the different sides? I am just broadly mentioning. You can see in the picture about what are the traditions that are being used. Don't be judgmental. My humble request to each one of you is, don't be judgmental as a tourist. Kindly shift your attitude to a learning mode. Oh, is this it? Let it be a curious mode. Don't judge the tradition and the customs and the culture of whether in India or any part of the globe if you are a tourist. Understand it as they are, not as they should be. I repeat, understand them as they are, not as they should be. That is why if you are visiting, let us say you are visiting Golden Temple in Amritsar, as I told you, you have to follow the guidelines of the Sikhism. You are visiting a temple of Venkateshwara Swami at Tirupati, it has got its own tradition. You are visiting Shirdi, or if you are visiting an Ajmer Sharif Dargah, you are visiting a Velankani church. A lot of places are there to explore India with multi-religious concept. A lot of Buddhist tourism circuit, which is we have it. So please understand all these things. Understand, explore all religions. Understand your quest for inner peace starts in India. If you have really explored and understood things in its right perspective. So that is why, my dear friends, here understand the religious tourism aspects of it also. Definitely, as I told you, there are definitely some sites which I can share it offhand, like Shirdi is there, where you can, Puttaparthi is there. A lot of foreign tourists come to this location. Then we have got this Sammakka Saraka Jatra also in part of Telangana. Then we got Pandharpur area, so where the Bhakta Tukaram is there. So different sites, you have to sit down and explore. You will get to a lot of areas there where you can go and understand. So all these are combination of factors which you can see and the nearest accessible areas that you can find it. So right now we have completed ecotourism and its principles, measurement criteria of rural tourism. In the next session, in the next class, we will be doing about motivational factors. So here, please see the video link of the Project Tiger I have given you. The YouTube is there. It's a simple 4 to 5 minutes video. Watch the video carefully and see the great effort done by the Tiger Society of India, which they have done a great job, which I have already told you just now. Thank you very much. Jai Hind.